Gravitationalism is a new direction in art I am creating. I'm in the middle of the creative process, not just goddamn paintings, but the whole direction in art. What's about? It's about utilizing the forces of gravity to create artwork. You understand? Letting the paint leak the way it wants to leak. Artist chooses the subject matter, artist chooses the color, and but how the paint leaks, it's actually unpredictably spontaneous. And this is the idea that on microscopic level, the paint mixes by itself. I do mix colors, as you see. These are different shadows of white, cream white, cold, warm, over layers, you understand, to make different kind of statements. But the idea behind gravitationalism is such that the paint itself paints the painting, you understand? The same goes for smoke. Smoke is rising in a specific pattern when I smoke, when I'm using smoking technology, but the smoke rises upwards because of the temperature of the flame, for instance. I need to bring a bigger container, for instance, or else. So these textures, they need to be saturated. Quantum particles, the camera stopped because it shows me the battery is low, because the battery was charging there as I was listening a lecture of Sapolsky on Stanford. I was charging the battery for the past half an hour or 1 hour. But because this is brand new iPhone 14, it doesn't hold the charge, and Apple made a statement, do not charge your phone while you are using it, such as watching videos on YouTube and keeping your mind occupied with lectures and receiving wisdom 24/7. So you are staying out of your mind, like Mr. Bogoslowsky needs to stay out of his mind, or else he's gonna go and start killing people. These fucking motherfuckers. So that's why I have to continuously listen to something on YouTube, preferably like lectures, like smart people, because I'm not very smart, you understand? So in order to receive some legitimate information, I need to listen to legitimate people. So legitimate is Sapolsky. He doesn't lie. He doesn't have delusional thinking. A lot of people have delusional thinking. I mean, I'm passionate about, what do you call it, astrobiology, right? Origins of life. And now we have a new science called quantum biology. And I'm exploring this field very much because I'm very peculiarly, it's very, very interesting to me how human behavior resembles behavior of individual subatomic particles. Not the atom itself. No, the atom is already a very complicated, not a thing, but atom is not a thing. It's a vibration, as we all know today. So to prove existence of atoms, you need to prove the vibration those atoms cause. And the vibrations the atoms cause is caused by quantum world, discovered by another schizophrenic, Albert Einstein. I believe he was schizophrenic. I believe Jack Shostak got a Nobel Prize in astrobiology, but I think he's schizophrenic. Okay, I need two bigger containers. I'm gonna put it here, and hopefully it's the back of the painting I'm going to fix later today. But I want to saturate this shit I just removed, and it made me many holes, and I need to make a decision which holes stay as holes and which holes get filled in. But first I need to secure what I scraped off. For instance, here you saw a branch. An hour ago there was a branch of a pine tree. I removed it. There is still a photograph, a little tiny miniature photograph from a photographer's shit to make decisions. So basically, you know, textures they are interesting, they're intriguing, and they grow in your painting with time. As you apply, as the painting goes through a transformation, those different textures become apparent within the painting. And you can remove your old textures, of course, or you can continue build up textures. I don't see why would you, since you're living like different world, different mind, you're different than 5 years ago. So the very concept of reality changes because every cell in your body is fucking different, so you're a different human being than you were 5 years ago. Many of these textures are 20 years old, so they need to go. But I don't scrape them off completely. When I scrape, I make a hole, you see. You need to learn how to fix the holes. Heavy shit. So, at the request of my followers, I am just talking to myself and painting while I'm talking to myself and see what happens. Today is an experiment. Today is what? Saturday. I'm very gassy, and I don't know why. Probably because it's Saturday. The food I'm eating is mostly vegetables. My girlfriend tries to tell me to change the diet. Well, it doesn't help changing diet. If I eat meat only, I'm as gassy as eating vegetables. So I think I'm just gassy by nature. And I think farting is a big part of human culture. Like in China, during Qigong meditations, I held Qigong meditations in my studio on a barge in Chelsea. For several years, I had a tape, I still have this tape, of Qigong master, who has a following of 5 million Chinese in China. And people were coming to meditate Qigong. And anytime I get Chinese enthusiast who is more familiar with Qigong from mainland, I remember this one girl, she was sitting meditating there for half an hour and farting and burping. And I thought to myself, oh my God, what's wrong with this girl? So later we had a conversation about farting and burping during meditation. And she says, well, the purpose of Qigong is to discover and evoke energy of the universe that is surrounding you, Qi, the energy, and have it express itself in you. So when that starts happening, you start burping and farting because these are natural body organism, organic organism, always farts and burps, no matter who he is, right? I bet presidents also fart and burp, sometimes in public. There was some African guy who just shit in his pants just recently, some president of some fucking African country. And nobody said a word. Nobody said a word. I mean, the guy just talks and talks about United Nations, corruption and everything. And then he shit in his pants. It can happen. Once I held a corporate meeting at Fashion Books and Magazines, and one of my employees was severely scared Russian guy. He was this redhead who came to America with a very ill wife, and I hired him not because he was a good employee, the guy was an idiot, but he had a sick wife, and I had compassion. She had leukemia, and he needed money to have a good life. So I hired him, and I kept him for a couple years. But the guy was a fucking idiot. Later, he became a programmer for Con Edison, I think, in New York City. He told me he's doing pretty good as a programmer for Con Edison. Well, that's good. So what I'm doing is I'm saturating the textures I have decided to keep for now. For now, but I might change my mind next year, next week. If the painting doesn't sell, I own it. And what is my end result of this painting? Well, I don't have a fucking end result, and I'm not planning to have a fucking end result of this painting. So I'm not saying it's in the progress, it's coming towards the end, towards conclusion. There is no such a thing. In the middle of the process, my collector calls me and says, "Oh, I saw this in your video. I really